Domestic violence can affect anyone at any age. It does not discriminate, which makes it even harder to detect when abuse happens behind closed doors.
This is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and tonight we take a look at the question of why people stay in an abusive relationship. Fox 26's Hillary Whittier is live in the studio to try to find some answers. Hillary?
Well, that's right. That's one of the main questions survivors say people always ask is, why do you stay? How can you let someone abuse you mentally or physically? What we learned when talking with both experts and survivors is this: no single story is the same, and mental control can be so strong, victims often don't know how to get out or don't think they deserve to get out.
We went back to the dorm and, he beat me. So I just learned that it was easier not to go in public. I was less likely to run into people and get blamed for doing something that I didn't do.
Yolanda Jones recalls a night 20 years ago, as vivid to her as if it just happened today.
I was just shocked, I was hurt, I was embarrassed.
A 6-year-long abusive relationship with her boyfriend Alvaro began in college. It was a time when Yolanda was a golden girl both in the classroom and in track and field at the University of Houston. She went on a full-ride athletic scholarship and quickly became one of the top athletes of her time.
While I was in college, I was Miss Everything. I won the most outstanding senior at the University of Houston. I won 3 NCAA championships. I won 1 United States championship.
Welcome you to the class of 1999.
Plenty of accolades followed later by an induction into the Academic All-American Hall of Fame. She tells us her successful path was cut short after meeting Alvaro, a 7'1" star athlete himself who started out as a kind and gentle soul before telling her to quit track and isolated her from family and friends.
How far along was this into the relationship?
Like a month.
A month. Wow. So it didn't take long for you to start to learn his true colors.
Yeah, but he apologized. He said that he never hit anybody before. He said he just loved me so much. And he didn't know why he did it, but he promised me he'd never do it again. And I believed him. Well, I was just hopeful. I was just hopeful.
It's that hope experts of domestic violence and assault say keeps the victim coming back.
I think
Sonia Corrales of the Houston Area Women's Center reminds us abuse is cyclical and is just as much mental as it can be physical.
we know that domestic violence has to do with power, and it has to do, with control when somebody's exerting power over another person.
Sometimes that control of power gets out of hand. This stack of cards represents the 30 people in Harris County who were killed in 2012 due to domestic violence. These names are why the National Domestic Violence Hotlines creates PSAs like this one.
Dreaming of mercy.
A reminder to the public that abuse can strike anyone at any time.
When I jumped up to go around him, he stepped back and he shot me in the abdomen.
Laura White tells us she shouldn't be alive today. When she served her mentally abusive husband with divorce papers, he took out a gun and shot her.
I remember reeling a little bit and like, oh my gosh, she shot me. But then all of a sudden I could not feel my leg anymore because it severed my nerves on the left side and I hit the floor.
Like Yolanda, if you ask Laura why she stayed, her answer is pretty much the same. Hope. Hope things would get better with the man, despite all odds, that they loved.
So many people tend to still want to put it off on the woman. Why didn't she leave? Why did she stay? What did she do to make him do that?
But as life instead got worse and the isolation was unbearable, their hope turned into courage, enough to seek help and a new independence. Creating an exit plan is a step that experts say often takes years to reach, as abuse comes in so many different forms.
It's physical, it's sexual, it's emotional, it's psychological, it's spiritual, it's economical, all of those things. And so it's important to note that, number one, domestic violence is a pattern.
One thing both Laura and Yolanda agree on now as they look back on those lost years is that love shouldn't hurt, and it doesn't control.
The society has to shift. They have to see that this is an epidemic, but it's not new. It's been around forever.
We only accept the love that we think we deserve. An old adage that these ladies learned along the way as they gained strength to tell their stories which have the potential to save lives. Well, tomorrow we will take a look at how some people are learning to protect themselves through self-defense classes, as well as what red flags that you need to be aware of early in a relationship. Be sure to tune in. We're live in the studio. Hillary Whittier, Fox 26 News.